In 1891, a telegraph station in the Montana wilderness went silent for 3 days. What happened during those 72 hours would be buried in classified military reports for over a century. Until now. This is the true story of Cold Creek Station. And I promise you nothing will prepare you for what you're about to hear. If you make it to the end without pausing, drop a comment saying I survived Cold Creek. Let's see who's brave enough. Hit that subscribe button, because you're going to want to see what we uncover next. Sarah Mitchell pressed her face against the stagecoach window, watching the Montana wilderness swallow them whole. Pine trees towered like silent sentinels, their shadows stretching across the frozen ground. She clutched her late husband's rifle tighter. "First time at a frontier station, ma'am." The driver's voice cut through her thoughts. "Yes," Sarah replied. "But I'm a quick learner." Cold Creek Station appeared through the mist like a wooden skeleton. 6 buildings clustered around a central courtyard, the telegraph office, 3 cabins, a supply shed, and a stable. Sarah counted 6 figures waiting in the yard. Station Master Edmund Price was a weathered man with calculating eyes. "Mrs. Mitchell. Welcome to the edge of civilization." The others introduced themselves. Thomas Webb, the senior telegraph operator with trembling hands. Young Billy Crawford, barely 18, eager to prove himself. Margaret Chen, the cook, whose silence spoke volumes. Jacob Mueller, the stable hand with a German accent thick as molasses. And Dr. Henry Blackwood, whose medical bag seemed too heavy for its contents. That first night, as Sarah settled into her cabin, she heard it. A sound like wind through a cavea, but there was no wind. It came from the forest. Long, hollow, hungry. Day 2 began with an unsettling discovery. The horses were gone. Not broken out, gone. The stable door remained locked from the outside. No tracks in the fresh snow. Just empty stalls and the smell of fear. "Could be wolves," Jacob suggested, though his voice lacked conviction. "Wolves don't unlock doors," Sarah said flatly. That afternoon, the telegraph went dead. Thomas worked frantically, checking every wire, every connection. "Someone cut the main line," he announced, his face pale. "About a mile out, in the forest." "Then we fix it," Edmund decided. "Billy, Sarah, you're with me." They found the cut line at a place the locals called Dead Man's Crossing. The copper wire had been severed too cleanly. And in the snow around it, Sarah saw them. Prints. Larger than any bear, shaped like human hands but wrong. The fingers too long. The grip too wide. "We need to go. Now," she whispered. That's when they heard it. That hollow sound from the forest. Closer now. And this time, it had words buried in it, twisted, backwards, like someone trying to speak through water. They ran. Back at the station, Dr. Blackwood examined Sarah's sketches of the prints. His reaction troubled her more than the prints themselves. "I've seen something like this before," he admitted. "In medical texts. Journals from the Donner Party expedition. What does a starving wagon train have to do with not starvation, Mrs. Mitchell? What came after? What they became?" Night fell like a hammer. They gathered in the main hall, doors barred, rifles loaded. Margaret prepared what might be their last hot meal. No one spoke about the scratching that had started on the walls. Long, deliberate scrapes. Testing. "There are rules," Dr. Blackwood finally said. "Old rules. The Blackfoot tribes spoke of Thema the wendigo. Those who consume human flesh in desperation become something else. Something that's always hungry. Always cold. The more they eat, the less human they become." "That's a myth," Edmund snapped. "Is it? Then explain the Donner Party survivors who went missing." The Russian expedition that vanished in Alaska. The glass shattered. Something pale and impossibly tall stood in the broken window. Its skin was translucent, stretched over bones that bent wrong. Its eyes were milky white, blind but seeing. Its mouth opened, jaw unhinging like a snake. Sarah fired. The bullet hit center mass, but the thing barely flinched. It reached through the window with fingers that wouldn't stop extending, nails black and cracked. Thomas swung an axe, severing 2 fingers. They fell to the floor, still twitching, still grasping. The creature shrieked a euro, that hollow, hungry sound a euro, and retreated into darkness. There's more than one, Billy whispered from the eastern window. I count at least 4 circling us. We defend until dawn, Edmund ordered. Fire and steel. Those are the old rules too, aren't they, Doctor? Blackwood nodded grimly. Fire and steel. And prayer. Hour 3 of the siege. They'd killed one. Set it ablaze with lamp oil and watched it burn, screaming in languages that predated English. But the others learned. They stayed in the shadows now. Waiting. That's when Sarah noticed Jacob was missing. She found him in the supply shed, hunched over something in the darkness. When he turned, his eyes reflected lamplight like an animal's. How long? Sarah asked, rifle raised. Since winter of '89, Jacob whispered. A trapping expedition went wrong. We were starving. I tried to resist it. Tried to stay human. You brought them here. No. They followed me. They always know. Always find each other. His voice broke. I thought I could control it. Thought if I stayed away from people, stayed good. But the hunger never stops, Sarah. It grows. It whispers. Fight it? I am fighting it. Every second of every day for 2 years. Tears streaked his face. But they're calling me. They want me to open the doors. Let them in. Join them. Sarah lowered her rifle slightly. Then help us stop them instead. Help us survive until dawn. Jacob's human eyes met hers. There's silver ammunition in the doctor's room. He came here to hunt me. Been planning it for months. A terrible smile crossed his face. Looks like we're on the same side now. They gathered the silver bullets, saw €7 rounds total. Dr. Blackwood had indeed been a hunter, sent by the military to eliminate the Cold Creek problem quietly. The creatures are most vulnerable at the throat and heart, Blackwood explained. But they heal fast. We need to make every shot count. The attack came at midnight. All 3 remaining creatures at once, coordinated and savage. They tore through the eastern wall like paper. Billy went down first. The youngest never stood a chance. His scream was cut short as claws found his throat. Thomas was next, dragged through the western window before anyone could react. 4 defenders remained. 4 bullets. 3 monsters. The mathematics are poor, Edmund said calmly, reloading. Margaret spoke for the first time in 2 days. Then we changed the equation. She grabbed a lamp and smiled at Sarah. My family survived the typing rebellion. I know something about last stands. Then she ran straight at the largest creature, lamp held high. The explosion lit the night like sunrise. Margaret and the creature burned together, her scream of defiance echoing over its howls of agony. 2 creatures left. 4 bullets. 3 defenders. Jacob stepped forward. Give me a bullet. What are you, a euro? I can get close to them. They still think I'm one of them. He looked at Sarah. Make it count. Jacob walked into the courtyard, arms spread. The creatures emerged from shadows, circling him. He spoke to them in that backwards language, that hungry tongue. They listened. And when they were close enough, when they'd forgotten the humans behind him, Jacob screamed, Now. 3 shots. Sarah took the left creature through its throat. Edmund hit the right one's heart. Dr. Blackwood's bullet went through Jacob's chest and into the creature behind him. Jacob fell to his knees, human again in his final moment. "Thank you," he whispered. Dawn broke over Cold Creek Station. Pink and gold and merciless. Of the 7 who'd been there 3 days ago, 3 survived to see it. The cavalry arrived on day 4. They found Sarah, Edmund, and Dr. Blackwood sitting in the telegraph office, weapons across their laps, staring at nothing. The official report called it a wolf attack. The bodies what remained of Thema were burned. Cold Creek Station was abandoned and later demolished. But here's what the official records won't tell you: Sarah Mitchell went on to become one of the first female wilderness guides in Montana. She never spoke about those 3 days, but she always carried a rifle loaded with silver bullets. Dr. Blackwood disappeared in 1893, last seen heading into the Alaska wilderness. Alone. Edmund Price retired to a monastery. Took a vow of silence. Never broke it. And sometimes, on winter nights in the Montana wilderness, hikers report hearing a sound like wind through a cave. Long, hollow, hungry. But there's never any wind. The documents I've shown you were declassified only last year. The government finally admitted that Cold Creek Station existed. They still won't say what really happened there. But now you know. If you made it this far, you're braver than most. Drop that "I survived Cold Creek" in the comments. Subscribe for more forgotten horrors. And remember, some hungers never die. They just wait.